ticket. Step right up, step right up. That's the arrogance and the disconnect of government. In fact, I almost missed a Ron Paul interview last time he was on because of a stinking checkpoint. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. You know what? I'm going to finish up right now in this short segment. The long segment, I'm getting into the confirmed fact they're coming after our guns. This is huge. But I'm going to finish up because I just walked back in the shipping department that Weldon Henson runs here at Infowars.com Command Center. And I walked back there and I was talking to him about a few things. And he said, man, you're right on about this truck police thing. I was just in Louisiana visiting family a few weeks ago. He'd been off for half the week. And he said, does this look like a truck that needs to be inspected? And it's this big, beautiful Peterbilt, his cousin's truck that he moves highway equipment, bulldozers around with. Oh, yeah, they're even pulling over the trucks going, expanding the road right there. It's crazy. And he was describing how they keep him on the side of the road all the time now. And he's been a truck driver for a long time. He said now, this is all over the country, by the way, they're squeezing us. Just like the Declaration of Independence says, they send out swarms of officers, that's a quote, to eat out our substance. And, I mean, you see brand new trucks, you name it. I mean, I'm not talking about a truck with rocks coming out the back or baling wire or whatever. Truck police should be going around looking for stuff like that. But no, sir, they just, and forget having a weigh station like the state police do. They just, imagine if the state police just block the highway, well, they do that now, and just search everybody. You know what? We're not just going to search people that have opted into the commercial licensure. We're going to do it to everybody. But now, let's go pick the busiest spot in Austin, and let's pull trucks over for 30 minutes to an hour. We were timing it. They would just stack up dozens and dozens of trucks, wave them in, and then I've talked to truck drivers over the years, and they talk about when they can't find anything, they get mad because they're writing everybody tickets. I mean, if they say, oh, the oil's down a little too much, or, oh, there's dust on your bumper, or this tarp wasn't perfectly tied down, or this, let me see your maintenance log. And it is white glove inspection. And then they just write you $500, $700, $1,000, $2,000 tickets. And it's all, and the companies don't care. They don't lobby for their drivers because the drivers pay the ticket. They get 3 or 4 of them. They just lose their license. We just get somebody else and lower the wages. That's how America works. It's a race to the bottom. But after all, we didn't build America. Government did. There's a compilation of hilarious humor that we're going to cover later in the broadcast for Prisonplanet.tv viewers, but I'll describe them to radio listeners. And now Obama has been forced to respond to this, saying he was taken out of context. No, he wasn't. He said the government built whatever you have built. Humor, you didn't build that. It's up at Infowars.com, a compilation that Aaron put together of all the great art out there where he tells the Wright brothers they didn't build it. He tells, just everybody, they didn't build jack diddly squat. So that's up there. But again, the average cop is told, hey, we got a shortfall of money. You got to get out there and write more tickets. And I've heard the local Austin police chief, we need hundreds of more police officers because the city's growing. No, you don't. You don't need any. And you shouldn't. We don't need to hire one police officer in this town. Because let me tell you what they're going to be out there doing. They're going to be out there writing tickets all day long. And they're going to be out there helping the CPS take people's children. And they're going to be out there helping induct people in the public schools into the prison system. And so, no, we don't need, hey, Mayor Bloomberg, you said the police should all go on strike. You know what? I like that idea. I like that because all the cities where you're in control, your big Chicago Mafia, New York Mafia, the cesspits you've created will burn in days. Your people, your precious little dependents, your criminal class that you've nurtured and created to vote for you and to menace those of us that produce, they will burn your filthy cities, your demonic cities to the ground. So good. Go on strike, okay? Please go on strike, okay? Please. I call your bluff, you mafia trash. People say, man, Al Jones is calling Bloomberg a criminal and trash. I told you he should be arrested yesterday, and everybody ran around and found out the point that it is criminal, and he's had to respond and said, oh, he didn't mean it. You are a filthy criminal who wants to tell us what we can eat, what we can drink, what we can do, wants to ban popcorn in New York. This is a degenerate control freak. You're like, well, that sounds crazy. No, it's not crazy. They want to tell you what to do. This is gangsters breaking our back. And let me tell you something, punk. It may fly in places like Manhattan, and it may fly in Chicago, and it may fly in L.A. It doesn't fly everywhere else, okay? We're not all idiots. We know a crook when we see one. We see a thug, piece of trash, maggot, gangster. We know what you are. And we're not your property. And we're tired of you running this country into the ground. Let me tell the police something. You think when they put a 20% carbon tax on California last year, that helped them? That state, everyone's evacuating it. The bankers want that. Now they can buy it all up. Don't you understand what you've... Let me tell you something, police. You're not helping society writing all these tickets. Do you understand that? If you arrest somebody who's recklessly driving 110 miles an hour in traffic, that's helping society. Writing truck drivers that can barely stay above water, who work their butts off tickets and setting up checkpoints is not helping.
We're on the
Let me tell you what's breaking the law. Setting up Homeland Security checkpoints all over the country and having illegal checkpoints at bus stations and train stations and on major highways now, and even going after people's bodies with the TSA grope down on the streets of this nation. So let's get one thing straight. All of you that serve this system and don't know what's really going on and haven't chosen a side, or maybe you have chosen to serve the system and you'll follow any order you're told, your little 10 star doesn't give you the authority to walk all over this country and treat us like garbage. But the police aren't even the issue. They're being ordered to be out there. And I'm going to call Arte Saveda. I got his cell phone number. I'm going to call his office, though. And I mean, we're going to start shooting video out there constantly to just show how out of control this is. And it's going on all over the country. And they want everybody to know they're the boss, they're in charge, they'll shut down I-35 under a federal grant and back it up 20 miles if they feel like it. It's just pure, raw exercise of power over us because foreign, larcenous, criminal banks have seized control of the nation. They're bragging in all their publications how pathetic and dumb we are and how they've set up an unelected technocracy in our face. In fact, I know I've got this new Obama clip and a bunch of others, but guys, pull up the CNBC I've played probably 20 times, clips of, where they go on for 4 minutes a month or so ago bragging that global government's here, and it's run by mega banks who got us into this by fraud. And then all the guests on the show agree we're slaves, and only one says it's wrong. By the way, Ron Paul's audit the Fed passed the House overwhelmingly yesterday, but the Senate, just like last year's, going to try to kill it. But the point is, 20 years ago, when Ron Paul was first in Congress, he was in for one term and then kicked out as a libertarian, then came back in '96. Ron Paul couldn't get one co-sponsor. So here's the deal. You can kill it now in the Senate all you want. We've now identified, as Zbigniew Brzezinski said 2 years ago, with fear, and his new book admits it, that we're not looking at Romney and Obama and your little puppets. We're not looking at David Cameron. We're not looking at your front men, whether it's Australia or Germany or the United States or Nigeria for that matter. People now are looking at the special interest, and we understand. Now, here's the special interest, because no one listens to them now. We're out here saying it. Others are covering it. When global government leaders call for global government, the Drudge Report, when the head of the EU says we're setting up world government, the Drudge Report links to it. He links to the foreign paper. We link to it. So, see, they've been still saying it doesn't exist, and the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center have been saying none of this exists, and we're all insane, and we're evil, and we're bad, and they're telling police and intelligence communiques there's no global government, there's no international bankers, the Federal Reserve's not private, lying to them. And the police are finding out it's true. So, see, now they've shifted from, oh, yeah, there is a global government. Aren't we lucky private banks took over America? They know best. Yeah, we're slaves to them, but it's really no big deal. Really, really, honest, really. Let me explain something. No amount of taxes, no amount of tickets, no amount of park fees, no amount of any of it is going to save your big government. The government could be fully financed on 30% of what it rakes in right now, conservatively. If you look at the comprehensive annual financial reports, the real set of books that are public, but the media doesn't talk about it, so nobody knows about it. They want to implode things. Let me explain something. When you raise taxes to a certain point, less revenue comes in. That's a fact. They've known that for thousands of years. The only time you raise them like this across the board with all the hundreds of little taxes and fees and fines that are tagged on to everything you buy, from natural gas to gasoline to the home to building materials to food, everything, entertainment, medicine, all of it. And I've seen the briefings. The police unions have written about it. Even in New York, they've said, we don't want to do this. We've been ordered to really crack down and give people tickets if they sit on a park bench too long. We've been told raise money. We've been told crack heads. We've been told be imperious, scare people. This has come out because the crooks running things are mobsters, folks, and they act like mobsters, and they want police to act like that now. And they tell them, get out there and raise money or you're not going to have a job. You're not going to get promoted. And they give them bonuses when they do. It's designed to kill the country. This is an organized corporate siege. And Bloomberg let us in 2 days ago and now responded yesterday and goes, I know it's illegal. I was just joking. No, you weren't joking. You told police nationwide to stand down. And I welcome that. You know why? Everywhere, like Vermont and Texas and other places where people have got guns, you're going to see a bunch of bad guys get killed when they go out and try to rob people, because they will do it. If the police stood down, there would be an increase in crime, but there'd be an increase in dead bad guys. The open duck season. But everywhere the globalists are in control with a bunch of lily-livered dependents behind 8 locks, the cities would burn to the ground. And let me tell you, that would be a blessing. I don't want those cities to burn to the ground, but that would wake everybody up when they saw the places where big government's in charge and people can't defend themselves. Good, good. I hope the New York police stand down, you criminal. I hope they do. I hope they stand down in Los Angeles. I hope they stand down in Chicago. Stand down in all your mafia cities, because it's those mafia models in every case that are setting up this takeover. They're the ones. They're the enforcers. They're the capos for the offshore bankers. They come in and hire the lowest of the low. Son of an ear gun terrorist for the Mossad, blowing up buildings to blame it on their political enemies. Rahm Emanuel, mob chief of Chicago. Obama, CIA global double agent, Russian agent, commie. Bloomberg, totally corrupt, all of them. There's the headline, Mike Bloomberg walks back comment the police should threaten to strike after Aurora. See, this is what they want. They want to hold us hostage. They already do that. They already gauge all this in most cities and don't let the police go out and deal with certain crimes and have them revenue generating and tell them to leave certain neighborhoods alone so that it can be controlled. There's a reason the crime rate's been so much lower in areas of the South and areas of the West, because this mafia system didn't take over, but now it is. They gauge and control the crime in New York and Chicago and L.A. It's run. Folks, I've had dinner repeatedly with the Vikings in Los Angeles, the police gang, ladies and gentlemen. They know 9/11's an inside job. They know all of this. Only the moron public doesn't know this, okay? Let me explain that to you. Only the moron public doesn't know all this. Stop being morons. You know, I get up here and risk my life to call these mobsters the scum and trash